Hey guys, it's me Ian. Welcome back. And this morning I review the Brew to the Brew Trail Run. So let's get into it. So the True to the Brew Trail Run / hike is an event put on by Grit Endurance, and this is the first time it's taken place. As you can see, it's just over 10 kilometers, and it happens over the Peak to Prosperity portion of the Palmetto Trail down here in South Carolina. Unlike most of the races I've reviewed thus far, this one does not happen in Columbia, but rather 30 miles to the northwest of us. As I said earlier, it is the first time it's run, and I hope they keep this up. But before we get into the race, let's talk about packet pickup and all that. So my wife and I, we saw emails and social media posts about the True to the Brew run, and that spots were limited. We saw them months in advance, and we were debating on whether to do it or not, only because it was about 3 months out, and it sounded great, but she didn't know what her work schedule was going to be like, and I had no idea what else was going to be happening that weekend. Since it wasn't inside Columbia, I didn't want to do it without her, so we held off. But by the time we found out that her schedule was free, they were sold out. And then about 2 or 3 weeks before the race took place, an email went out and a couple social media posts saying 20 slots were being added. So I'm presuming that the initial count for runners was limited to the first 200 who would apply. We signed up immediately, and then we decided we're going to go camping that weekend to make it closer, or make it easier for us to get up to the race. Now with Grit Endurance organizing the race is I guess the brainchild of the Palmetto Conservation Foundation, and that's where we went to get our packet on Friday. Packet pickup included our bib and some pins, obviously. Included this nice t-shirt. Talk about that in a second. Included several maps, directions to get up to the start of the race, and some more literature about the Palmetto Trail. Just a second. Good morning. Hey, little guy. Yeah, they were advertising that the shirt is pretty good, and yes, it is. It's a nice thin racing shirt. It is, I would call this gunmetal. Other people would probably call it just dark gray, smoky, charcoal maybe, I don't know. But I like the color. It feels great. It's really soft, especially for a thinner running shirt. And let me zoom out a little bit. You can see how long this is. This is a large, and look at how low it goes. Hey, how's it going? So I'm really thrilled with that, especially since the tech shirt I normally wear for races has been shrinking to no end. But this guy, I can see getting a lot of use of during practice runs and just everyday use. So when we picked up our packets, we headed out to Deer Island State Park, camped there for the night, because it was only 11 miles from where the race was supposed to be held. And Saturday morning when we got up there were already like 150 people there. And we got there an hour before the race was supposed to start, or I'll say 45 minutes, because it only took us 15 minutes to get up there. So a lot of familiar faces at the race too, or at the start of the race, which was really interesting for me, because Columbia had a half marathon going. It had the Heart and Soul women's 5 miler going. There were 2 5Ks happening in the downtown area for Columbia. So it was a busy race weekend. They had several spots for parking for the race. We parked in the main spot right next to the starting line, but apparently there was a shuttle that would take people from the second parking spot. Oh, sorry. It was the people from the second parking lot being shuttled in, which just caused us to be just a couple minutes late. But that wasn't a big issue. Everybody was all happy, especially when they heard there was free beer at the end of the line. Of course, when you got True to the Brew, you kind of expect beer to be around somewhere. So the race organizers recommended people break up into 1 of 3 groups in lining up for the race. All the fast people, the 7 minutes and under, towards the front. Everybody who runs between an 8 and 10-minute mile run in the middle, or start in the middle. And then all the walkers and slow people be in the back. I probably should listen to that, because I started in the way back, and when the race started, for the first half mile, I was pretty much stuck where I was. Because when you're on the Palmetto Trail, or at least that part, the path may be this wide, as you can see here, but there are trees on both sides, and you cannot go around. Me and a couple others, we had to wait for gaps between runners to move in and out and weave our way back up. Morning again. That doggy does not like me. Once when I got past the first half mile, it was good. And the thing is, it didn't feel that crowded in the back. It's just, I'm used to leapfrogging and passing people by going in and out. You've seen my videos, you know that's what I do. But this time I couldn't do it. Not for a while. The race is advertised as 6.5 miles, but a lot of our trackers had us going 6.3, 6.4. After the first mile, I couldn't get my Strava to line up mileage wise. It'd be anywhere off from 0.1 to a quarter mile. And I think in that case, I would blame all the overhead cover that we had. Because there are very few spots when you're running on that trail where you don't have trees around you. Very few. Now, one of the biggest draws for me on this race was they advertised that you run over 14 bridges or trestles. And that's one of the things I love about the Palmetto, about the Timmerman Trail, is running over those numerous bridges there. And if we lived a lot closer to the Peak to Prosperity Trail, I'd probably do that every day, especially with that last bridge. It's a converted railroad bridge, spans 1,100 feet, and you're just going and going. But the view is so nice because you're running across the broad river and you don't notice how wide it is until you're on that bridge. They had some water stations out there that were spaced out. If I remember correctly, 3, but for some reason I keep thinking there's 4. They had enough water stations and they were never out of water when I ran by. Even when I turned around to go back, get some other people, there was still plenty of water at the last water station. The course itself felt very flat, and it's funny, I didn't notice a drop in elevation except for the one switchback we had to do, but my Strava was saying we did eventually do a dip in elevation. I never noticed it. The course just looked straight and like unending, which is kind of funny because there are curves in there. You just don't notice them until you're almost right on it. We had several bike marshals out there who I presume were workers from Outspoken Bicycles. Even if you're not, you guys did a good job out there. We had a bike marshal towards the beginning of the race go, "Hey, bike on left, bike on the left," and we're all moving over. We're all joking with her too, like, should have gotten a bell. That was one more thing about the race. I felt like I was going a lot faster than I was. When I came across the finish line, it said I did it in 56 minutes. I felt like I was going a lot faster. But I haven't ran trails like that in, I'll say about 15 years. Army tank trails don't count. Those are all dirt. Kind of felt like I was bouncing in certain spots of the trail. And I did not wear my cloud shoes at all out there. I love my On running shoes, but I'm not gonna take them on a trail run when the bottom of the shoes can suck in rocks, because that can get annoying quick. Once someone got to the finish line, like I said, you're finishing up on that long railroad bridge. You can see the balloon. If you look closely, you can actually see the finish line balloon at the beginning of the bridge. I didn't spot it until I was over halfway done with the bridge. I don't know what was going on. But once when I saw it, and I saw a couple runners running back. I'm like, oh, we got a little loop to do. And I'm like, I better conserve my energy. As I got closer, like, there's no turnaround. This is the finish line. Let me speed up. Sped up, went. The volunteers handed me some water, got me a banana, and they were serving chicken bog out there too. It's a Carolina dish. Get some seasoned rice, some chicken, some sausage. Oh, it's so good. I think I had like 3 helpings of it out there. And of course, we could have gotten our free beer too. Gave my wife mine because I don't like touching alcohol when I'm driving. So she had two glasses of the peach beer. I missed the award ceremony, but according to the results, I actually placed in my age group, which is funny because we had a master's category and one of the guys from my age group was actually in the top 3 overall. So that bumped me up into the placing area. So glad we have a master's category. But I got my little Palmetto Trail mug, not running with it because it's awkward enough running with a GoPro and a selfie stick and keys in the other hand. And afterwards, we got in line, waited for our shuttle. And Grit Endurance and them did a pretty good job with this. They had 2 shuttles going, 15 passenger vans each, with the true to the brew. We're allowed to have our dogs with us out there. And Amanda rucked with our dog out there. Paddington was really happy because I think he wanted to run with me, but he's not ready for 6 miles. We're in line, we get in the bus with a van, and Paddington takes up a seat. So I guess he's one of the 15 passengers. But that was common for a lot of the runners out there because they had dogs. A lot of them had dogs that were between 60 and 80 pounds. There were a couple smaller ones. They were very accommodating for us out there. They even encouraged having dogs out there as long as they were on a leash. This was definitely a good race, especially for the first time it's been run. That part of the Palmetto Trail needs to be seen more. It was pretty scenic. And again, I love going over those bridges. I'm looking forward to it again next year. There's really nothing I can think of that they can improve upon, except maybe have like 2 or 3 waves going. Because it was a good idea to have everybody try and get into a group based off your mile time. But I think it might have helped out a little bit more if we spaced those 3 groups out by like a minute. Because that would have given more people room to spread out or run it more leisurely, I guess. I think you know what I'm trying to say. All right, that's all I got for now. If you ran this race, go ahead, let me know down in the comments what you liked about it. And if you like my running reviews, go ahead, comment, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Until next time, bye.